Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hi, welcome to the Giver Marketing Tuesday broadcast. I am really excited to be able to host it today with one of my friends, one of the coaches here at Giver Marketing Network, which is Christine Deane. Now, before I pull her on, I just want to kind of just tell you a little bit about who she is. When I first met her, I had come into the Giver Marketing Network, and there were really holes in my marketing expertise. Christine came on and really kind of helped me work through it in order to build the marketing for my company to really become all that it's meant to be. And I get the pleasure of now interviewing her about ethical lead generation. And it's one of those things that I get really, really excited about. Not so much the lead generation, but with Christine Deane teaching it, because she's an amazing teacher on this. And so we get to have this conversation. But before I bring her in, I just want to welcome the Kingdom Warriors and all the Giver Marketing Networks on board. And I want to welcome everybody who's either watching it now or in the future, because this is going to be broadcast over a bunch of different places. And we want to encourage you guys to ask questions in the comments and have conversations with us. And that's one of the things that I love about this, is we want to be as interactive as possible. So if you have questions, put them in the comments. You might even find your comment on screen being answered. So I want to, without further ado, let's bring on Christine Deane.
Hey.
Hi. I'm really excited.
Are you excited? I'm excited. We're going to have fun today. We're talking about one of my favorite topics, right? As a marketing coach, I'm trying to guide people, best practices, and this is what I do all the time, right? And they're like, Christine, what do I do? How do I reach out to people? How do I connect with people? I don't want to be one of those sleazy salespeople. And I get it, right? You walk into a car lot and you're like, oh man, you see the salesperson walking towards you and you turn around and walk the other direction, right? So you don't want to be that person. So how do you make friends? How do you, connect with people that you want to connect with? So today I'm going to share my secret weapon, and we're going to talk a little bit about ethical lead gen. So this is going to be a lot of fun.
It's one of the things about lead gen that I love, and I'm just going to jump in here, is there is buyers love to buy. They just don't want to be sold. And so this is one of the things that I love about this ethical lead generation is it's about getting people to buy without actually selling them anything. And that's why I'm really excited about this. So take us away, Christine, and let us learn some.
Let's have some fun. I'm going to pull some slides up here. So we're going to talk about ethical lead generation on LinkedIn specifically. It's one of my favorite playgrounds. I play in multiple playgrounds, but it is one of my favorites. So we're going to just kind of focus on that today. Maybe we'll do another platform another day, but let's go ahead and just roll with this for now. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of ethical lead generation, building a strong LinkedIn profile for that lead attraction, then crafting your personalized messages, right? And then my secret weapon. So, we have happy puppies too in the background. So hopefully they'll behave, but there's no promises. That would be Cujo, my youngest little puppy. And so the power of ethical lead generation, actually, he's not. So, Joel, you got this.
So one of the things that, as we're talking about this, one of the things about lead generation is you can't have lead generation for a short period. You have to be able to take it for a long-term success. Like, you have to continue lead generation. You don't get the opportunity to stop generating leads. It's one of those things. It's like, one of the big problems with small businesses is we will work and work and work and work at marketing and lead generation, and then we will get all of this business, and then we will stop. We'll stop our lead generation to do all the business, and then it will continue the cycle um, between generating leads all the way around to generating profits. And that's the fight that we really, really have now. That's now that Christine's back, I'm going to let her take back over. But this is the struggle that small businesses have, and so
Absolutely, Joel. And it's an ongoing thing, right? Where, oh, now I've got business. Now I'm going to do the business. Oh, shoot, I stopped lead gen. Now what do I do? Now I'm out of business again, right? So and so coming up with a consistent, ethical method, right, is important for small business if you want to survive. And most small businesses don't, right? So let's put some systems in place.
most small businesses don't want to survive or don't have the systems.
Yeah. Well, so you want to put those systems in place for long-term success, right? And really, when you're building ethical you're using ethical communication and building relationships in a way that's authentic, right? You're building that trust with them, right? Because if you destroy the trust, then they're definitely not buying from you, right? You're fostering those relationships and continuing to grow them. Because what happens is people like you, now what? Now they refer you to other people, right? They keep doing business with you. They keep you in their circle. Right. So that's going to lead to those higher conversion rates. And I laugh because sometimes people will be like, oh, can I get a proposal? I'm like, you either want to work with me or you don't. I mean, you can't believe how much time you spend putting proposals together. Right. And a lot of times, if somebody likes you and they want to work with you, something real simple works and off you go. Right. You start working that conversion rate. Right. Because they have that trust in you already. Right? And you start building that positive brand reputation, which is very important. You know, the networking diva, my brand is everything. If I don't have a good brand, I can't connect anybody because they're not going to believe what I say. Right.
Yeah.
And the difference between ethical and unethical, oh goodness, right? We have all been there. We've seen it. We've gotten those really horrible messages. They start out nice, like, hey, I see we have things in common. Let's connect. You're like, oh, that's nice. And you connect. And then all of a sudden, you start getting this series of messages like, hey, let me talk to you about, I got some just yesterday. And I was like, it's so technical. I don't even know what you do. Did you even read my profile? Because I don't even know what half those words mean.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, so we're talking about ethical lead generation. So can you just define what you mean by ethical lead generation?
Ooh, that's a good question. All right. So when you think of ethical lead generation, right, you know what you don't like, right? But what do you like, right? So we're talking about honest, authentic communication where you're adding value to the other person, not just trying to sell them something. When you look at everybody like you're a prospect, and I just see dollar signs in front of your face, right? You're not a real person to me. You are just a way to pay my bills. Sorry, you have no significance beyond that, right? Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about seeing people as real people, treating them like real people, not just a commodity.
Really, relationships over business is what we're talking about.
Big time, right? It's relational marketing when you think about it that way, right? And one of the biggest ones you can get at it is the referral side of it, right? That's huge. And a lot of people aren't taking advantage of that opportunity to get those referrals out of it. All right. So when you're looking at LinkedIn, the first thing people are going to do is come look at your profile if they're interested at all, right? So they get a message from you, someone's introduced you, whatever it is, and they go and they look at your profile and they're like, right, what does your profile say about you and about your business? Now, for those that are just starting out, you may not have paid a lot of attention to it. A lot of times people will use it as an onboard, like online billboard, right? Yeah. So, this is my work history. It doesn't necessarily have anything personal in it. The headline behind it is like completely blank and generic, or, we don't get any feel for your personality, right? So you really want to think about what do you want to look at when it comes to your profile? things that you want to make sure look good. So let's just hit some of
Christine,
these basics. Yeah.
Christine, do you mind if we actually show your LinkedIn profile as
Well,
a
we can do that. Do you want to share
I will
it?
share it. I've got it up here. I've got it up here. Let's uh boom. So this is Christine Deane's profile. Let's see if I don't know how to zoom here, but this here where you can see exactly what she's talking about when you look at her banner here. And I'm gonna let you walk us through your profile because you're the one with the
Walk you
presentation.
through my profile, which I probably do need to update, right? You got to go in periodically and go, does this still reflect my goals and what I'm doing? Does this reflect my vision, right? So for me, it's very important people know I'm a strategy and marketing coach. So I have that right at the top. The people like, what's that, right? Or, oh, I want one of those, right? So it specifically says for mission-driven people and causes. So I'm right there. If that's you, it's going to be drawing you in. Right. If that's not you, then you're like, oh, well, that's not my kind of person. That's not really what I'm looking for. Great. Bye-bye. Right. Because your whole goal is to attract your ideal people, your tribe, and the kind of people that you want to work with. So that saves me a lot of time. Right. Because now I don't have somebody who's selling widgets being like, help me with my marketing. I'm like, that sounds horrible. There are people out there that do that very well. That's me. I'm all about relationships. Right. So something on the top that lets people know exactly who you are and how to reach out to you, how to get in touch with you, right? So make it very clear what your goals are right off the bat. But it's pretty sparkles because it's me and I'm a diva, and therefore there must be sparkles on there.
And one of the things I actually do want to bring up about this is her face is not just on her profile, it's on her banner. And there is something to be said about a great personalized photo on your banner, and that way people can just look at it and be like, okay, this is who she is. It's not like she stole it from someone else.
Right. It's very, very authentic at that point. And take a look at your photos because sometimes the photos more look like mugshots. I'm just going to say, oh, that was from a late night in Vegas, huh? Did you spend some time in jail? I'm just saying sometimes those photos are like blank stares,
Yeah.
Or the coloring's off, or you're just like, you thought that was going to be your best foot forward, huh?
Yeah, there are. I used to be an actor in the film and entertainment industry, and so I have headshots galore at my disposal. And some of my headshots literally say you're a serial killer. Those are not the ones you want to use for business. Those are great for acting, not so much for business.
Yeah, think about what you're doing and smile, by golly. Nobody wants to hire somebody that looks like they're like not friendly to work with. I'm just saying, sometimes guys are like, oh, I'm going to be very stoic. And you're like, no, we want to work with friendly people. So, you can still smile and appear friendly. It's okay. So, right, let's bring the smile out, people. So you want that compelling headline, your value proposition, whatever it is that's important to you, right? The detailed about section, right? So if you scroll down the profile a little bit, there's the about section. So tell us a little bit about you, what you do, what your expertise is, what you're interested in, who you're looking for, right? So make it very clear who you want to connect with, because as people read that, it's either going to repel them or attract them, right? So think about that. The person that you're trying to attract, what do they need to know about you that's going to make them want to enter a conversation with you, right?
Love it.
So for me, right, I'm appealing to those that are mission driven, that are involved in causes, right? So I want to attract my veterans, my nonprofits, my coaches, I always call them ACEs, my authors, coaches, executive coaches, entrepreneurs, and speakers, right? So I want to draw them in. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing my profile correctly, right? So do the about section so it draws them in. Talk about some successes that you've done, perhaps, right? And it talks about including relevant keywords to improve search ranking, because people will go in and search, and you want your profile to pop up for whatever it is you want them to find you for. Right. I've known somebody that's really good with the LinkedIn side of this, and they literally don't have a website. People just keyword search, they pop up on LinkedIn, and that draws in all their business. So, we have rules of what we think need to go into your marketing, but you can actually be kind of creative with some of the marketing techniques and where you want to put your emphasis.
There are, and you have to be creative about your business name. Like I encourage you to look up the Networking Diva on Google. Who's going to show up? Christine Deane, because I don't know anyone else that would choose that name. Not that it's a bad name, but it's so unique to who Christine is. And because of that, it's easy to become one of the top people when they're Googling her.
Right. Well, so I have the DFW Networking Diva was before, and I've rebranded to the Networking Diva. So you'll find me under both, right? Because that whole rebranding process is kind of painful. But
Yep.
pick your name and stick with it. I'm just telling you now, you don't want to rebrand.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things on there, though, is showcasing testimonials and positive client feedback, right? There's a spot in there where you can do highlights, right, on your LinkedIn. Like for me, I have it highlighted for the President's Volunteer Award, right? So I put in a lot of hours volunteering with the veteran community, and so I received that award. So things that you're proud of, things that shine about your personality, what makes you unique. Volunteerism is one of those for me. But at the same time, right, what is it that would make them go, aha, I want to talk to this person?
Yeah.
Right. So use those opportunities in there, whether you put it in an article, maybe it's an interview that you did, right? But put those on there. This way it draws people in and they're like, oh, well, this person's different. What makes you different?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So build up that profile. It takes the time to do it. It's worth it. And you got to review it. I would say probably every quarter, but at least every 6 months, right? This way it's a good reflection of you, what you're doing and where you're going in your business. Because sometimes we shift a little bit. You might be like, that doesn't work anymore. Let me fix that link. Or, I don't even offer that service anymore, but I do offer this one. Let me put that in there, right? So just keep it up to date, because that's the first place that people are going to go. So when you're doing lead generation on LinkedIn, they're going to be coming and looking at your profile. So make sure that your profile is a good representation of you. Now, when you're sending messages out, here we go, crafting connection requests, messaging that converts, right? So the importance of personalization outreach. So you don't want something generic. Hey, you're on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn, let's be friends. I'm sorry, what? It doesn't really work that way, right? So don't do that generic communication in there. Mention something you have in common, people you have in common, something that drew you in that's of interest, right? Like I might say something like, oh, I see that you have you've published 2 books, and I love giving free advice to authors. I have access to amazing free resources I would love to share with you. Do you have time for a 30-minute phone call or a quick Zoom? Right. And they're like, oh, right. Most of them are interested in that. Or I love showcasing them on my podcast or whatever it is. It's going to be something that draws them in, right? Mention something that you see on there.
One of the things that I've learned through doing appointment setting is you need to give them value right up front. If you don't give them value right up front, they're not going to give you their time, because their time is valuable. And lots of times, so we have this client that we do appointment setting for. And what we do is we'll sit there and go, he is our chief engineer, and we'll use language specifically chosen that will add value to what we're giving. He's our chief engineer. We're giving a free 15-minute consultation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we build the value so that when they're off the phone, they sit there and go, yeah, that meeting I just booked, I want that. This is the same thing with these connections, with these sending these messages. I want to provide the value, so that when they're jumping on, when they've got the meeting, they're going to be excited for it. They're going to want to see it. And they're going to have this bar that's set, like, this is what I'm going to get out of it. And it's straight up. And then you have to actually give it to them. There's a level where you have to give it to them. You can't just taunt them and then be like, yeah, peace out. We're not actually giving it.
Right. And you're really talking about highlight the other person's relevant skill or achievement, right? So you're trying to relevant how these two tied together, right? So this is our chief engineer, and you would get value from this because, right? And tie that together this way. Don't make them guess why they want to talk to you. Yes. Because if they have to think that hard, peace out.
Yep.
So yeah, exactly. So focus on offering that help, providing insights, not selling.
Yeah.
Your first message should never be with selling, and somebody was talking about how the first message was like, hey, let's talk and see how we can help each other. And the next one was, well, let me get straight to the point. And what I want you to do is, and you're like, whoa, you started out strong, but that went downhill real fast. Right. Yeah. So help people, don't sell to them. Right. Keep the messaging concise, your call to action clear, right? So sometimes the other side of it, and I've seen people where they're like, oh, I was going to send this. I'm like, wow, that is way too long of a message. I don't even read messages that long from my best friend. I'd be like, oh no, you need to put that into 2 sentences.
One of my favorite things that I've done with my friends is, can you summarize that for me? They'll
Yes.
send me this 1 hour YouTube video and be like, oh, this was really cool. This is, you need to listen to this. And I'll be like, can you summarize it for me? Or can you give me a 5 minute time segment that I can actually watch? Because I don't have the time to actually give that.
Yeah.
And when you're sending long messages, it's the same. I don't have the time to read that. I've got a business I'm running.
Exactly. And as you're flipping through messages, the one that's really long, that one's going to be, oh, I'll check that later. And we know what happens then.
Yep.
Later never comes.
Yep.
So yeah, keep it nice, short, concise, grab their attention on what it is that you want and how you can help each other, right? And clear call to action, right? Say, hey, love to connect, love to chat, love to, invite you to whatever it is, right? But make it nice and clear what that call to action is so they can follow it or not. If they're not interested, that happens too. It's okay. Maybe it's not the right time for them, or maybe they're just not interested and they're doing their own thing and they're happy. At some point, though, they might come back to you. You just never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So we have lots of options when it comes to reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and I'm going to share my secret weapon. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's see your secret weapon.
Okay, we're going to pull these down because I'm going to need to, let's see, share screen. Here we go. Oh, guess what? I'm going to use, Joel, I'm going to use you as my guinea pig here. Okay. There you are. We were talking about, right? So his business, what he does, what he offers, nice photo, right? So my secret weapon is called My Most Trusted. And there's a free version, there's a paid version. Whatever works for you. You know, we start with the free. And then if you decide, oh my goodness, I love this, the world is happy and singing and I need the paid version, then do it. But you can also start with the free version. What it does is it floats around and it follows me wherever I go in LinkedIn. It's like my little stalker app. Okay. So it's a Chrome extension. And with it, what happens is when I go to somebody's page, it says, oh, Joel's a trusted connection already. Yay. So he's already trusted by me. I've already added him. Think of this as your secret society behind the wall of LinkedIn. So what happens is I say who I trust, and then the other people say who they trust, and then we can ask for referrals back and forth and recommendations and things. So every time I go to somebody's profile, I get this little bar that pops up. So right now, Joel, I hate to tell you this, it says that based on my requirements, you're a 2 out of 10, but we know better. It says the score for Joel is 2 out of 10. He does not meet the criteria of being located in Texas because, I kind of like to do business with people local, but I do business international. So I should probably update that. I was just on a call with a client in the Philippines last night. But so they dropped it lower because of that. His job title and experience do not align with the desired professions such as business coaches, life coaches, executive coaches, influencers, authors, ghostwriters, book. So that there's my list. So they think that you're not a good connection. So I'm going to have to go in and edit that because you can actually say who it is that you're looking for and it gives you a little ranking on there. So obviously I need to update that, right? But what happens then, you can give golden recommendation. So if somebody has a golden recommendation, oh, look at that. You have a golden recommendation. I gave it to you. That means I stake my reputation on the fact that you are amazing. And so if you do anything wrong, it's going to come back and bite me because I said, according to this, that you get the golden thumbs up that you're amazing. So when you see that, then you know somebody really thinks that they are fantastic and probably pretty trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the part that I really like. Right here is the handshake. So I can introduce Joel to another one of my trusted connections. Now, the key is you have to add these trusted connections into your system, and then you can introduce them to each other. Until then, you can't do it. So right here, this means that I've already got you trusted. So I can actually connect you to someone else that's in my system, and it goes really, really fast. So if you are a super connector, this is like the best tool ever because it makes it so fast to make those recommendations. Mm-hmm. Let's see. So actually, I'm going to do that real quick. I don't know who we're going to introduce you to. Who are we going to introduce you to? I think you should meet Keegan. And go, Keegan. Where are you, Keegan? Well, there's AJ, but you know AJ.
I love AJ. He's amazing. If you get me another one that's like AJ, then I'm happy.
Well, I was trying to get Keegan to come up, but I can introduce you to AJ, though you already know him. There's Martin from last week, right? Okay, we'll put you with AJ. All right, so right here it pops up, so it's going to automatically do a connection. So, hey, AJ, allow me to introduce you to Joel. Joel, AJ is amazing, especially, give or take a typo on my fingers. I want spell check for fingers, especially in e-commerce, we'll say.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to say AJ, Joel is the customer service guru that you want to meet. Okay.
Yeah.
So right there, nice brief. Saw how fast that was? I'm going to hit introduction. Okay, so I'm going to introduce. So what it's going to do is going to send a 3-way email to both of you introducing. Right here, I can turn these on or off with the check marks. I'm going to leave them on. So open a group chat. So it's actually going to pop in, open up a group chat between the two of you and introduce you. And then I can share it as a LinkedIn post, which is wonderful because now I can increase the invisibility for both of you, both your superpowers, in addition to getting you in front of my audience and each other's audience.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm going to say, yes, introduce.
So funny thing about what we're waiting for this, AJ
Uh-huh.
and I are actually talking about doing a monthly almost podcast thing where we're just talking.
Nice.
So that's going to be a lot of fun if that happens.
Oh, I think it will be, right? Now, what I put in here, boom, it just created it for me. So it created a group message. So that sends, and then now it's going to automatically start popping up the LinkedIn. Or it's supposed to. It's thinking. You know how everything takes longer when you do a screen share. So what happens is it's doing it automatically. So it's doing it in 3 different ways: the LinkedIn post, the connection here in the messages, and then the email. So we've got it set up in several different ways. So this is one of the ways you can use this tool. So this is great if I wanted to introduce people, right? So I want to network, I want to make introductions. This is a great way to do it. Now, the other thing is you can use this tool to request introductions. And that really is where I like using it for lead gen. Okay, so I'm going to open up my most trusted. Like I said, it floats around in the corner and follows you wherever you go. Okay, so if I wanted to find somebody, let's say we're looking for, I said I liked working with coaches, right? So I'm going to do in keyword coach. I don't want first degree. I already know those people. I want second degree. Okay, so I'm going to hit search. Okay, so now it's coming up right here. It goes. So it's bringing up second degree connections. Whoop, I'm highlighting things. Here we go. So it tells me, here's the person that's a coach, right? Here's another one. And it tells me trusted contact of Carl, right? So I could ask Carl for that recommendation. So it gives me a little tiny bit of a bio right here. So right here, I can click request introduction. All I have to do is say why I want to meet him, right?
Yeah.
So all of these are all warm introductions at this point, right? Because when I send a connection request and the other person says yes, and 9 times out of 10, I would say even higher than that, they say yes, right? So now I've got a warm handshake from somebody. At that point, and I say, hey, I would love to have a conversation and see how we can add value to each other. What do you think they're going to say?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. So this is that warm introduction that I was talking about. So this is a way to do your lead gen, is to get those warm referrals. So all you have to do is ask for that introduction. So if we're going to go and I'm going to say, Matthew, I'm going to request this. Let's see. I'd like Carl to introduce me to Matthew. So I love offering let's see, free advice and resources for coaches. Okay, so I'm going to request that introduction. Great, your introduction was sent. That was it. So now they'll get a message saying, hey, Christine wants you to introduce her to Matthew. Can you do that, right? And they can say yes or no. Most of the time they say yes, though, right? So I can go through and find all of these different coaches that I want to talk to. If I want to talk to authors of whatever it is, I can do the second level connection and just come through and ask for all these introductions. These are just waiting for me. Okay, look, results per page 10. Look, there's 1,400 people that I can ask for introductions to, and they're all warm introductions.
That's cool. That is really cool.
See, that's how I like to use this. And there's a lot of other features in here, right? You can put in your, like I said, I can make somebody a golden recommendation saying that I think the sun and moon shine upon them and they are the most wonderful thing ever. I can ask it to match me with the AI features, right? There's community circles. You can have conversations, the referral history. I love this one also because I can keep track of who I connected to who. So it's kind of like for me, who I do a lot of connections, it makes it really easy. If I want to add people, right, find and add trusted connections, I can do that. And then there's bonus features. So this is really a great tool. It floats around, it follows you wherever you go. It's my little stalker app, right? But it makes it so much easier to, oh, see, here we go. There's my, it automatically created. Can you please introduce me to? So these are the fun tools that are available. I use this one all the time just because as a master connector, it goes really, really fast. I can do those introductions in like 2 minutes. With the LinkedIn post, when it does that, make sure you add like an image. This way it goes faster, and have those created ahead of time, and it'll make it so more people view it, right? Because we know if you have a photo, people pay attention. If not, they just keep on scrolling. So it could be anything, but just have something ready to rock and roll with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's funny how much different a little video. So I used to put I put a bunch of tips for customer service and
Mhm.
appointment setting, but it's funny that the difference in viewership. So I used to put the tips without anything just as an experiment, and I think I got maybe one or two people viewing it. The minute I put a little video, a little catchy video on it, it multiplied. It's amazing how much bigger of an audience I get with it.
Yeah, little videos. Videos are hot right now. So whenever you can add a little video to something, even with your connection requests, right? You could do a short little video. Was it Loom?
Yeah.
Is really good for that, right? So let's say you're asking for these connections, they do the 3-way, and you're like, oh, this is the person I want to talk to, right? You could create a little custom Loom video for them saying, hey, it's Christine. I'm excited to meet you, right? I've really been wanting to meet you because of this, this, and this. I would love to have a conversation with, right? So personalized, right? Even
Yeah.
if it was a 30-second video, right? That really makes them go, oh, well, gee, they seem really excited about meeting me. It
Yeah.
always feels good to feel important, right?
It's very fun when you've got someone who's really excited to meet you. It makes all the difference.
It
So
does. And what you put out on your LinkedIn, right? Other people see that. You're helping to build your brand and who you are. And so when people see you posting things like, hey, so and so connected this person, that person, right? It helps elevate everybody. Right. You're like, oh, well, then maybe that's somebody that I've been wanting to meet. Right. Or,
yeah,
oh, I need somebody for that. Or maybe it's like, oh, well, Christine's really helpful. Look, she introduces people. Maybe I want to have a conversation with her. Who knows what she might introduce me to. Right. Help build that brand and do it visibly, right? It's not just behind the scenes, it's putting it out there and letting everybody know what's going on. So it does both.
yeah,
And so it's one of my favorite little tools that I use consistently all the time.
yeah. That's fun.
It
So
is.
I don't have any questions on that. So okay, so what is the difference? So what is the difference between are you paid or do you use the
I
free one?
am paid and I started paying pretty quick. So I'm not exactly sure what the free version includes, but I did set up Oz on it and he was using it for a while there. And so it made it really nice because he's a super connector also. So it
Yeah,
just made it fast and easy to do that. And if you set the time aside on your calendar and say, okay, on Friday mornings from 9 to 10, I'm going to go in and I'm going to ask for connection requests.
yeah,
Right. And just put it on your calendar. That's the easiest way to remember to do it. Right. And it's not necessarily you see, there's some automation in there, but it's not like it's going to send things that you don't approve. You always have to hit okay and request and you know what I mean? So every step of the way, you're approving it before it does it. So you don't have to worry about it going on autopilot and you're like, stop.
yeah,
It's too late. It's already sent out all these messages. I wasn't done. Right. So you really have a lot of control over it. So you're not going to get in trouble on the automation side where LinkedIn doesn't really like when you use automations.
yeah.
It's not going to cause any problems in that way. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things because we have used automations trying to working through as we were learning LinkedIn. And let's face it, we've all made our mistakes trying to and you don't learn without making mistakes. So
Yeah.
it's about really and we're just hoping that you don't make the same mistakes we did, which is why we're
Yeah.
here doing this because it's like we've all not all of us, but we've tried to avoid spamming. We've all done the messages where we've experimented to be like, okay, how direct do we want to be versus
Mhm.
how relational do we want to be? How much business do we want to be? And we both veered on each side. And so we actually have to
Mm.
go down the middle. And the truth of the matter is we don't want you making our mistakes.
Right. And really, there's so many opportunities now with AI to help contribute towards what you're doing. And I know when we're working, Oz and I were working on it for Nomosa.art, was the idea of doing an outreach program. But we're like, every time I would put in prompts asking it to help me with the messaging, I was like, ooh, sleazy, ooh, don't like that. Right.
Yep.
And you're going through, and I finally ended up telling it, this is not a sales pitch. I literally had to tell it not to do that, right? Instead, focus on connecting and adding value. That was a game changer, right? The AI started producing some really nice scripts that were all about building relationships. So keep that in mind rather than saying, hey, I need a, LinkedIn outreach campaign, come up with one. You're going to get something really salesy, right? Come in and say, I need a LinkedIn outreach campaign that is all about adding value. Use, my website here to come up with ideas for adding value, right? That kind of stuff, and use those extra tools to help make things more relationship focused, because it makes a difference.
So which AI tool do you use for that?
Um, it's I'm going to say, it's something to do with octopuses. And I think it's
Claude?
octopus crm.io. That one's not so bad. And it's kind
Okay.
of done in phases. So you have to approve every phase. So it really minimizes the amount of um, opportunities for error,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, just because you really want to use something that you have a lot of control over. If you've ever used any kind of automation before and you've gone, oops, those are the worst because you can't take them back. It's been done in bulk.
Yeah. So I want to bring on Frank. He's been in our green room, and I want to bring him on just in case he has any questions. And he's always got
Yeah.
some great insights.
Here, I'm going to
Um,
share the screen real quick for this is the
okay,
one that I've been using. And I like this one, octopuscrm.io. So
perfect,
you recognize it. So you'll see that, oh, I'm at the right place.
perfect, perfect. All right, well let's bring Frank in. If his StreamYard's been his connection has been a little bit weird, so it doesn't look like he's here. So I will pull him back out.
I
Um,
have no idea. You can see him in the green room, but you bring him on screen. It's like, hello.
yeah.
He's like the invisible man.
So Christine, where can people get a hold of you? Where can people connect with you?
Well, let me pull that onto the stage again so they can reach out to me, right? So you can find me on LinkedIn. It's a great place. I'm in there quite often. So linkedin.com/IN/the networking diva. So if you come and find me and say, hey, you were talking about some cool tools about LinkedIn and connecting. Can we talk about that? Absolutely. I love having those kind of conversations. I believe that the tide rises all. So let's all help each other as a team and we can all meet our goals together. So that would be a great way to reach out to me. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat, right? So a LinkedIn connection program, and that's going to be the Octopus CRM. And actually, I think Joel Snyder's the one that was telling me about that one.
Mhm. It's what's great about the Giver Marketing Network is that we're all kind of working together in order to build each other's businesses. And there's not as much competition as I thought there would be since we're all marketers. It's very different, and it's very much like a hey, I need some help with this. Do you want to? I know we do the same thing, but do you want to jump on and just help me with this? And I love that collaborative environment that we have. It
It
really makes all the
definitely.
difference.
And it makes all the difference in the world. And I know for me as the team director, when people come in, I'm always like, hey, let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's see, I want to let you know about the network and what's available. And I want to try and connect you with other marketers that might be good synergy partners for you. But I also want to know what's going on with your business, right, Joel? Like when we first started talking, right? I'm like, where are you at? Where are you struggling? Let's give you a hand. Let's get you in the right store, right? And
Yeah.
so once we can get you rolling, right? if you're doing well and you're bringing in business, now you have more business that you can share with the rest of us, right? For
Yeah,
collaborations, because a lot of us have little areas of specialty, right? And when it comes to customer service, sure, my background's communications, and sure, I can talk to people about that. But the level of expertise that you have, it would just make sense to slide them over your direction.
yeah,
And
exactly. And it
you don't
makes
have
things
to
super
be a
easy.
lonelypreneur.
Yeah, it makes things super easy for our clients too, because our clients aren't paying 12 different people. The clients are like, okay, Joel, we're paying you, and then we're paying the people for them. And because it just keeps that connection constant, and it
Mhm.
really makes it easy. And this just became an advertisement for Giver Marketing Network, but that's not what we intended to do. It's just one of those things that just makes things so simple, and the people are so far so trustworthy.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing who you can meet. And we've probably got close to 100 marketers in there now.
just about.
Uh, so I always say, whatever it is that you need that comes to marketing, let me know because I've got a connection,
Yeah,
right? And that was before I was in the network. Now that I'm in the network, I'm like, woo, look at all these wonderful people, right? So customer
exactly.
service, boom, Joel, right? Okay, you need processes, right? I mean, whatever it is, animation, right? We've got people that handle all these different areas of specialty. And as a coach, for me, a lot of times I meet my clients where they're at. So tell me where you're at. Okay. And where's your goal? All right, let's get you there. So I'm going to need to bring in all those because I can't do all that. I don't have time to make all that happen. Right. I got to bring in the
Exactly.
team to give a hand with that kind of stuff. So it works really nice to have access to amazing experts because I guarantee there's no way I could do animation like Nick does. Right.
Yeah, well, Nick is amazing. We have this guy. He's an artist. He's a digital artist. He does animation. He's made NFTs that have made $5 to $7 million. Like, it's amazing the amount of talent that's there.
Yeah, just raw talent in the room. It's
Yeah,
amazing, right? So yeah, so which leads us directly to, let's see, today's Tuesday, so that means that tomorrow is Wednesday, and Wednesday is always our marketing for networkers. So
yeah,
do not be a lonelypreneur. If you're hanging out there by yourself, you could be a boss of your own business, you could have an agency, whatever it is. Maybe you're just a solopreneur, you've got a couple of people working with you. Don't be alone. Come hang out with us because it's amazing when you put a room full of marketers together and we go, all right, I got an issue. What can we do about this?
yeah.
Right. The power of brainstorming in that room and the resources they bring to the table is like, oh my goodness. Right.
And I'm gonna go off script here just a bit. Say, even if you're not a marketer and you're watching this, jump on the Wednesday group, because if you have a marketing problem, you basically have 8 people who want to help you. At least 8 people. I don't know how many people are showing up week to week because it varies. But
Up, down. Yeah.
if you have a marketing problem, jump on. It's very easy. You can now see like a group of people, and you sit there and go, okay, this is the person that I actually want to work with. It's like speed dating, but for for
Right.
marketers.
Somebody in the room is going to have the answer or they're going to know where to get the answer. And that's the
Exactly.
beauty of it. Yeah, like I said, we advertise it normally for marketers, but you can always pop in if you're a business owner and you got a question. We love that kind of stuff. We love being able to add value. That's really what we do. So if you're interested in hanging out with us, that's going to be networking for marketers and more. Go to givermarketing.com/networking, and that will give you the opportunity to sign up for the Zoom and get the Zoom link. And we do that every Wednesday. And I always say 10 o'clock Central, but then I realize the rest of the world isn't Central. So 8 o'clock West Coast, 11 o'clock East Coast. But we're there every week. And I love leading that group. It's really an informal group. As long as it stays kind of smaller and intimate, we can do that. I don't have to do
Yeah.
the official, hi, my name is, and here's our 30-second commercial. No, we don't run it that way. We
Yeah.
get to know each other. We help, we dive in, and we want to know where you're struggling so that we can help, right?
Yeah.
Like I said,
Exactly.
tide rises off.
Exactly. I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us for the last 45 minutes. It's been a blast, like we knew it would be with Christine. And so if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to Christine. Her LinkedIn is in the comments. You can reach out to me. You can basically put Joel Thiessen. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll probably find me on Google too. But we welcome you coming out and talking to us. So have a good one, and we'll talk to
Thanks,
you
y'all.
later.
Bye.
Bye.